Hi, this is the second part of the lecture for Module 12, Week 14. I apologize for there being a second part. My dog started barking, so I needed to take a pause, so we're going to do it in two parts. We're looking at the final thoughts of the book. This begins on page 208. The author talks about the fact that there was a story on National Public Radio called A Plate of Peas. It involved a small child who hated peas, and he refused to eat them, so his mother did not serve them to him. But he went out to lunch with his grandmother, and his grandmother, with his mom there, said, "Well, if I give you $5, will you eat those peas?" And he gobbled them right up. But that then led his mother from thereafter to serve him peas. And when she served them, and he looked at them with revulsion, the mother would say, "Well, you ate them for money, you can eat them for love." And every time after that, the little boy ate the peas. So the book talks about, page 210, that this is what we've looked at throughout the book and the perversities in the law. That really what the mother is arguing is, how can you refuse to eat those peas for love when you are willing to do so for $5? This is quite similar to the first perversity addressed in the book, which is the limitations on consent. We looked at it within the context of an emergency room physician when we had Al with a two-leg injury who wanted to give his consent for his wife to have the more minor injury, the finger injury, to be the one that the emergency room doctor provided surgery for. But then when B entered the scenario, that irrelevant alternative, that when B had a one-leg injury, she had priority over Chloe. And so that Al's consent to treating his wife did not negate what the obligation on behalf of the emergency room physician was. The second perversity we've looked at in this book is loopholes. We did that in the what you just had at the chapters that were included in test 2. Loopholes, we looked at loophole exploitation, manipulation of voting rules, agenda manipulation, and the role of attorneys in that. The fourth perversity, we just concluded this module. That's in chapter 12 and 13 of the book, and that's under criminalization. The third perversity in the book, in order, is the either or characteristics of legal rules. We talked about it a little bit today as well, on why the law does not have continuums, why it instead says you're guilty or you're not guilty, and doesn't provide a spectrum of opportunities or choices, for instance, between life and death. The final thought in the book looks at page 212 of the title of a famous essay by psychologist George Miller, of the magic number 7 plus or minus 2. And it is maybe best known for its title, which in fact refers to the fact that 7 plus or minus 2 is the number of distinct items that most of us can hold in our working memory at any one time. The author of our book says for our reasoning capacities, the magic number may be 3. It is when we go from 2 to 3 that the relationship grows sufficiently complex for us to find them perennially surprising or perverse. In multi-criterial decision-making, adding that third choice, even though it may seem irrelevant, in fact then greatly changes what the decision-making is. And we looked at that again today through the Chapman article on rational choice and categorical reasoning. So I appreciate your attention and wish you good luck on test 3 and the final project.